All right, what's going on, guys? Coach Frank here, health and fitness coach, mindset coach. I'm joined by Coach Mike Annese. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I am a holistic nutrition and fitness coach as well. And today we're here to share with you why many people will give up before they even get in shape. All right. It's a big topic that me and Frank have both experienced with our experience as a coach and helping people. So, Frank, should we just go right into it?
Yeah, man. Let's dive right in. So, one of the biggest things I've noticed over the past almost 5 years now, working with clients, a lot of these same recurring things come up time after time. And, I think ultimately what it boils down to is really like our beliefs, right? Like mindset, and also environment plays a huge role. So I think we definitely need to talk about those two things today. But I guess we'll start with the beliefs and the mindset, right? So like one of the things that I hear all the time is like, people will be, they go from like 0 to 100, right? They're like, make that decision, like I'm going to go all in, right? Tomorrow, Monday it starts, and they're not really used to exercising. They're not really used to being very consistent with any type of a diet or anything like that. And, they do it for a couple weeks, and what happens? They start to lose motivation, and the scale only went down like 4 pounds. It's just frustrating. Like I've been working so hard, and I thought I would just lose more by now. Like I just want to give up. Right. Yep. Like, have you ever experienced that with a client?
Dude, I mean, every client. I've experienced that with myself, and I'm sure you've have too. I mean, we're all human at the end of the day, right? And the way I like to put it is focus equals feeling. So many times when it comes to beliefs, it's what you focus on creates a feeling. What you feel, what you act upon, right? So essentially, if you're going to focus on how, eating healthy is going to be a cost, right? How going to food shopping is going to be a cost to you now because you got to take time to go there and go through the aisles, shop. How cooking is going to be a cost. All that focus, that negative focus, is going to create an obvious negative feeling. And when you're feeling negative and you're in a state of negativity, that negative mindset loop, it's just inevitable that your actions are going to follow that, and you're going to self-sabotage, self-deprecate, and wind up then giving up. Right? Makes sense, Frank? I mean, we've seen this countless of times. So I'm guessing everyone wants to hear of how do you get in the right mindset, right? How do you get in the right belief systems to actually stay motivated, stay consistent, stay hungry, and achieve the goal, right? So what I found is the best way is to focus on why you want this goal. Like the more clear you are about why you want the goal, the more you're going to feel engaged to the goal. Okay, it's just like anything else. I think all laws apply to everything. It's like being in a relationship. All right, why do I want to spend my time with this girl? Okay, once you understand and establish the why, that you're spending time, taking time, investing in her, and investing resources in her, then you have a clear direction on where you want to take that relationship. Same thing when it comes to your health and fitness goals. When you understand the deep why, how do you want to feel? How is it going to improve the quality of your life? How is it going to improve your business? How is it going to improve your relationships? Once you understand the why, now you have the direction, and you actually have, you're invested in it now. You're emotionally invested in it. And when it comes to anything, and I'm sure Frank could validate this, when it comes to anything, we are emotional beings, and we must be emotionally invested in our commitments. Okay. So the reason why we fall off is because many people want things, but they have not clearly established why, which means they are not emotionally invested in this decision, this commitment.
100%, man. So let's start right there, because that's huge. A lot of stuff to kind of unpack. So like, you need a very strong reason why, right? If I get on a call with a potential client and I'm asking them like, so like, what makes you, what brings you on the call today, right? Like, why are you talking to me? Yeah. I want to lose a few pounds, right? Like, that's not going to cut it. that is just simply not going to cut it, because what happens when the going gets tough, right? You don't have, like you said, that emotionally charged, that investment where, it no longer becomes like, oh, it would be nice to lose these few pounds. It becomes almost like a must. Like it's almost like life or death.
Yeah.
So I like my own personal experience and my own story to perfectly illustrate this. When I got sick and I couldn't figure out what the heck was wrong with me, and the doctors couldn't figure out what the heck was wrong with me, you know, I had to look at myself, take a look in the mirror, and I had to be honest with myself. And it's like, hey, like, was I doing everything that I should be doing when it comes to, how I'm eating and my exercise? Like, I wasn't doing anything. I was eating like shit. I wasn't working out. I wasn't paying attention to my sleep. I was doing nothing. So only when I kind of had that, hard realization, and I was really open and honest with myself. And then when I made it, it's like literally I was like, I need to get my life back, right? Like I
Yeah.
just want to feel myself again. So like with that, like it was very hard, because when the going got tough, it's like, what's the other option? Like, yeah, this is fucking miserable. Like there's times where it's like, I feel like I want to eat some junk, or I want to like not, go to the gym. But like, what's the other option? Is like continue to suffer and like not know what's wrong with me and why I'm feeling like this, right? Why I have
Yeah.
no energy, why I just can't think straight. So it was like, for me, I had that very strong why. It was like a must. It wasn't like, okay, maybe I'll do it, and then if it gets tough, I'm just going to give up. It's like, no, like I have to fucking do this because my life is literally on the line. And at the time, my job, right? I was like on the verge of losing my job because my performance was so bad because of what I was going through. So it was like all these different things that I think that we need to find a way to help people make it such a strong reason why for themselves, right? And that answer is going to look different for everyone, right?
Yeah.
If you're not through health struggles, you might not understand and appreciate what I'm saying right now, right?
Yep.
For you, it might be something else, right? It could be, you know, whatever. Your motivation could be like, I need more energy so I could grow my business. Your motivation could be like, I need to look better so that I could find, a spouse or a partner or whatever. Like, I don't know. It could be so many different things. But the point is, before you even try anything and just jumping into any program or anything like that, I think it's very important, like you said, you have to really sit down with yourself and really figure out, why the heck would I even bother undertaking this? Because it's going to be hard. So
Yeah.
it's like, why? Why is it going to be worth it for me to do this? Right.
Exactly. Like establishing that why is so important. And also looking at both sides of it, right? What if everything goes completely wrong on this journey, this commitment? And what if, what happens when things go right, right? Because a lot of us, when we make commitments, especially when it comes to health, we're obviously only focusing on, what we want, right? And what we want is the positive thing, how we, so when we focus on like, oh, I want to lose 10 to 15 pounds. I want to be in shape in 3 months for my friend's wedding. We want that and it makes us feel good. So that's like some type of motivation, right? And what also could be motivation is pain. When we look at ourselves in the mirror and, we don't like how we look, that's like motivation as well. But what's important, like very important, is looking at the flip side when you're establishing why you really want to commit yourself. Like, all right, so if I get super busy with running my business or I get super busy with running my family and I eat like complete shit the whole week and I gain 5 pounds, like, am I going to be able to keep moving forward? Okay, that's something to really get clear on. Or, if I go vacation for a month because I'm traveling for work and I completely fall off my routines, am I still going to keep up with my exercise and my commitment? Like looking at all angles, not just what we want, is so important when you're making a commitment and actually keeping that strong commitment moving forward for your whole life. So I think that's something else, along with getting clear on why you want it, actually looking at both sides of the equation. Because what happens is people won't look at both sides And then when the negatives happen on the journey, people freak out. They start reacting. They get emotional. And then that's when they start doubting and getting frustrated, and then they quit. So I think that's very important to establish as well.
100%, dude. So it's like, I like to think of it. I use this analogy as like, the game of whack-a-mole, where the things pop up and you got to whack it, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm going into, even myself to this day, when I'm like for right now, for example, like I have a vacation in a few months. So it's like I'm going into this more of a strict cutting phase. And I'm anticipating that these things pop up, right? So like I'm not surprised by them. And that's what, again, like we're so used to this, but I think for the average person, they're like, the first thing that pops up, it's like, oh shit, like I'm done. Fuck this, man. Like I'm out,
Exactly.
And it's like, I expect them. It's like, oh, I worked so hard and I actually gained 2 pounds. Bing, I got to whack them all. Or, oh, I'm thinking like, whatever, this is not worth it. Right. This is just, I'm a failure. I suck at this. Like, I'll never do this. Bing, knock it out. So it's like, these things are going to come up. Right. We just have to expect them. And then we have to also have a game plan on how to manage these things when they do come up. So I think like one of the biggest ones has to do with like, I think having a short-sighted mindset versus like a long-term mindset. And as like as humans, we, especially in this day and age, we are so used to like instant gratification, right?
Yep.
Like I on my phone and like I could order something and it's in my house in like 30 minutes or whatever, like food, or I could order something on Amazon and it's here in 2 days, right? So we're so used to this instant gratification, but when it comes to, our body and our health, unfortunately, there is no instant gratification. It's going to require work. It's going to require time to do its thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think if people just step out of, the mindset of, things only apply to, this one thing only applies to this one thing. It's not true. Every single principle in life applies the same way. Okay. When you're looking at your health and fitness, it's the same way you should look at your relationships. Your relationships is the same way that you should look at your work ethic with your business, profession, job, etc. Everything is the same. So you don't just get into a commitment in a relationship, and then when one thing goes sour, you completely, leave. I mean, you talk through things, you work things out, you look at their perspective, you look at all the different possible scenarios. Same thing with your health. You can't just commit yourself to a journey and not look at all the parts of it, right? You have to look at the good and the bad. And then once you understand all the bad things or negative things or things that could go wrong, then you could plan. Like you said, you can anticipate. So when they actually come, we just whack them. We'll whack them all.
Right.
So I think that's super important. But when it comes to beliefs, I think a lot of people don't really understand this in general. A lot of people will write goals down, and it's easy to write goals down, right? You could take a little journal pad and you could write, I want to lose 10 pounds, or I want to start working out at the gym 5 days a week. I want to start getting consistent. Okay. You could write all these goals down consciously, but the important thing to understand is us humans operate unconsciously. Okay. When we're operating every single day, we're acting, we're unconsciously acting. We're not actually consciously thinking of everything that we do. It's impossible. Okay. So what's important to understand is writing goals and setting goals is completely different than actually achieving goals, right? But we're all after the achievement. But what we have to understand that is, setting goals is a conscious act, but actually achieving them is an unconscious act. So what will happen is, Sally will say, I want to lose 15 pounds in the next 3 months so I look good on, my friend's wedding vacation. Okay, cool. She's consciously writing that down. But in Sally's mind, her unconscious mind is programmed to believe that, it'll say, even if you lose 10 to 15 pounds, Sally, you'll still not feel good about yourself. So you know what? It's no point of actually even losing the 10 to 15 pounds. Just continue living the lifestyle that you want to live. Okay, so your unconscious mind will chatter. That's why you'll feel like the crosstalk, the doubts, all that stuff is because your unconscious mind is programmed to believe that even if I lose this 15 pounds, it's not going to matter anyway. I'm going to still feel like shit. So then we consciously make decisions based off our unconscious beliefs. And it's so important that we understand that. And how do you actually start forming the right subconscious beliefs?
Mhm.
The way that you do that is by keeping focused on what you want and using your imagination and your words to actually start believing in that. Okay? Because the mind does not know the difference between what's real in reality and what's not. The words that we say all the time, the things that we choose to focus on and believe, create our unconscious, subconscious wiring, which influences every behavior and action. So that's like more of the scientific part of it, but
Right.
it's to show you why people will consciously set goals and continuously not act in alignment to those goals.
Yeah, dude, that's a great point. And I think to simplify it, right, for
Yeah.
most people, I would say it starts with just becoming more self-aware
Yeah.
of the thoughts that are creeping up,
Yeah.
and understanding that you don't have to act on every stupid thought that you have, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay that this doubt starts to creep up, but what should happen, right, when you start to get good at this, because like anything else, it just requires some practice,
Yeah.
you start to be able to notice these things now. So it's like,
Mhm.
before, you would just, all right, this thought creeps up, and then you get into this bad mood, and then you're pissed off, and then you come home, and you're just sort of letting it, you come home, you take it out on your spouse, or you just drown yourself in some alcohol or some food, right? Like, and you don't even realize why you're doing it, right? You're not even aware. So I think that the first step really should be, in my opinion, is just becoming aware of these thoughts and these beliefs, right?
Yeah.
And then, when you do find one of these thoughts, like you mentioned, that doesn't serve you and it doesn't help you get closer to your goals, it's okay to just disregard them. It's okay to say, you know what? Yeah, okay, I failed in the past, right?
Yeah.
Sure. But you know what? That doesn't make me a failure. And this time is going to be different, right? And so you simply just disregard that thought that says, well, what's the point, Frank? You're just a failure. What makes you think that you're going to be able to actually lose the weight this time,
Yeah.
right? Think, you know what? Fine. Okay, I failed in the past. That doesn't make me a failure. You keep it fucking moving. Just keep it moving, right? So that was a very good one, Mike. I like that one.
Yeah. It's
Now,
just, a lot of people, they will just get so hung up on their thoughts. But like the best way to really do it is learning to communicate with yourself the right way. It's just like, if you have a kid, communicating with your kid. Communicating with yourself is the greatest form of communication. But so often we just don't do it all, oftenly. And
right.
when we don't do it often, we just disregard it entirely. But when we're actually feeling these ways, all we have to do is say, I feel this way, validate the feeling. I
Mhm.
feel this way, I feel the doubt, I feel the worry, I feel all these different negative feelings, but I'm choosing to remain committed to staying healthy and eating healthy. And that's going to make me feel better. So that's why I'm doing it. Just a simple communication like that, validate the feeling and then state what you want. And that will redirect the focus in the right way. That's what I see, is actually the best way of doing it with my clients. So, yeah. And I know we wanted to talk about environment. I think environment actually, follows through with belief systems, because your environment could actually interfere with your belief systems. It's obvious if someone, has completely different goals, they're struggling with their health and fitness and they try to give you advice or you stay around them for long periods of time, it's just inevitable that you're going to get influenced by their beliefs and behaviors. So you want to dive into that, Frank? Let's dive into environment real quick.
Sure. And this is something that, probably most people wouldn't really even think of, when it comes to undertaking, a health or a fitness regimen or something like that. But your environment plays a crucial role in, really just in the person that you become, right?
Mhm.
So it's like that saying, you're the sum of the 5 people that you hang around with.
Yeah.
So I tell clients, if you hang around 5 people who don't exercise, drink alcohol, eat garbage food, smoke, whatever the case, you're going to end up being the 6th, right? So I think, yeah, so we'll start with environment. We'll say like it has to do with the, physical environment, the people you're around, and then even also just your mental and emotional environment as well. So,
See, and when it comes to environment, I mean, one thing we're all blessed with that not a lot of people actually tap into and use, but we feel, right? We're human beings of feeling. And we all have something, I like to call the internal compass, the intuition, where we could feel the energy. All right. We could feel the energy off of others. We could feel the energy when we leave our job. We could feel the energy with everything that we do. And that's a very important thing to understand and actually lean into. Many of us don't lean into that intuition, the energy that we feel. Okay. So if you're, in a relationship and you're sitting next to your partner and you wake up every morning, you look at them and you will get some type of feeling. Okay. It could be a positive feeling. It could be a negative feeling. That is your intuition speaking to you. That is your internal truth speaking to you. So if it's negative consistently, you want to lean into it. You actually want to now look at all the different angles of that feeling and then make a decision. Okay. And, obviously if it's continuously negative, you have to shift. Okay. You can't just sit in the negative feeling and emotion. Same thing with your job. If you're feeling negative every time you leave that job, there's no point of sitting because it's never going to move you forward. So I think that's just so important to understand that we all have an internal compass that's steering us in the right direction. The reason why people move and steer off the wrong direction is when they're not listening to their internal compass, that energy they feel after the things that they do.
Okay. That's a very interesting point.
Yeah.
What do you think that in the context of like somebody that's struggling to stay consistent, right? With prioritizing their health and losing weight and things like that. What do you think that the environment, what kind of role does that have? Would you say like specifically on that? Like I know
yeah. But I mean, if you're trying to stay consistent with your health, right? You're trying to get into shape. I mean, you want to be around people that are in shape. You want to be around people that enjoy fitness and enjoy having an active, healthy lifestyle. When people, because it's inevitable that you will be around people, maybe in your family or close friends that aren't healthy or fit or, actually like the healthy and fit lifestyle. What you have to do is you have to be able to filter out what they say and believe in what you want. Okay. The stronger that you believe in what you want and why you want it, the more that you could filter out all their stuff. Because then, it's just, I like to give the example like this. Imagine being, this muscle building guy with a shredded 6-pack, and you walk on the beach and someone comes next to you and they say, dude, you're a real fat ass. You're completely fat. You're obese, man. I mean, that fit person with the 6-pack is going to be like, dude, take a hike or something. It's just the same thing with your beliefs. If you believe strongly in what you want, why you want it, all the negativity could be around you. But at the end of the day, your beliefs will always steer you in the right direction and you'll filter all that stuff out. But when it comes to motivation, because our emotions could shift in seconds, right? You could be in a room with people that you enjoy being around, like-minded people, and they lift you up. And then you could leave that room and go into a room filled with negativity and people that bring you down. And your emotions could change in that minute. And no matter, what your beliefs are, we act based off our emotions. So if you do stay in a toxic environment with people that are, negative mindset, negative thinking, eventually, like you said before, you'll become that. So it's important that you have to actually identify who's negative in my life, who is not actually aligned to the things that I want, and then shift away from them, spend less time with them, be respectful, but obviously take care of yourself and, your goals.
Yeah. I think that's important, is like being able to pinpoint these things and then courage to say like, okay, like you know what, I do, whatever, like value these people in my life, but like I don't necessarily value their opinion because none of them are living the life that I want to live in the terms of like, are they happy? Are they in amazing shape? Do they have an amazing body, right? Do they have tons of energy, right? Like, do they live an active lifestyle, like you said? And it's like, if that's my goal, right? If that's my goal, and we've already established that, I made this goal, I have a very strong reason why. So now we're at the point where, okay, now we have to be ruthless in, detecting what is standing in our way, and sometimes even who is standing in our way. A lot of the time, the person that's looking back at you in the mirror is the one that's standing in the way.
Yeah.
But we're talking about environment. It could be the people that are closest to you that are standing in the way, whether it's putting stupid thoughts in your head, like, oh, bro, like, do you really need to like go to the gym tomorrow? Just stay out, bro. Let's have some drinks. Let's just, it could be something as innocent as that. And it's just like, until you develop your own belief system and your own like way of thinking where this is what's a priority for me, I don't necessarily care what you think, right? And it's just being ruthless and like, nope, like this is how I'm going to live my life. Like, I don't care what you say. Like, and again, respectfully, of course, but it's certainly okay to spend less time with people that are not in alignment with what you're trying to do. Like, think of it this way. If you were a professional bodybuilder, right? Or let's say you're a professional actor, and your livelihood literally depends on you getting into amazing shape, right? In order to get this role or in order to win this competition, whatever, you need to be in the best possible shape. So like, are you going to hang around people that are going to like interfere with that? Or are you going to be so ruthless and saying like, no, I can't come out tonight. Like they're going drinking, like, nah, I got to wake up early. I got to hit the gym. Right. Like, start to think about it in these type of terms. Like, what if your job, your livelihood depended on it? Like, would you still be sticking around and like allowing yourself to be like brought off track, right? Every weekend? Or would you have some more like focus on, okay, this is the direction that I need to go in. And, I don't necessarily care what anybody else has to say.
That's a great
that.
No, that's a great point. And I think what's really important when it comes to environment is identifying, the people around you that do not have the same, beliefs and mindsets that you need to actually bring you forward with your health journey. And an easy way that you could actually identify that is write out goals for yourself. All right. Write out goals for yourself. And when writing goals for yourself and your health, use your imagination, really think of big goals for yourself that you really want. And then what I want you to do is actually share those goals with the people around you. Okay. And the people that say you're crazy, that's impossible. How the hell are you going to do that? All the naysayers, those are the exact people that you need to distance yourself from, because those are the exact people that don't believe in their own goals themselves. And that's why they're not achieving any of the goals that they actually really want. Because essentially, our human souls are driven off achievement, driven off progress. So when you're around people that are not achieving, they're not progressing in their life, it's because their own mindset is working against them and they don't believe that they could actually achieve it, because we all want it, but it actually takes the belief to actually go get it. So literally share your goals out with the people around you and find those naysayers, distance yourself, and it's going to allow you to be in the right mindset, be in the right energy state,
And I think for me personally, I could speak to the effect that like what happened this last time when I actually did finally get in shape. Like, I spent my whole life struggling in that department. It was literally the mindset. That's the only thing that changed. It was that belief, like you said, where for once I said, you know what, like this time I'm going to do it. And like all the years leading up to that, I was like, you know what? You can't do it, bro. It's too hard. You're not able to do it. You can't give up your favorite foods. You can't stick with something more than a few weeks and all these things. So just that change in mindset is literally the only thing differently, and obviously a few other, strategies and techniques. But I guess to sort of, start to wrap things up and then keep it, nice and short. I wanted to kind of circle back, and we'll kind of summarize all the things, but I think we needed to touch a little bit more upon this instant gratification that we spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
And what people got to understand is, you didn't get to where you are overnight, right? You didn't just go from being like in great shape, feeling amazing, perfect health, to like one morning you're fat, you're depressed, you're tired, right? Like, these things happen gradually over a period of time. So if you walk 10 miles to get into the forest, you're going to have to walk 10 miles to get out, right? So it's like, yeah, that sucks, and it's certainly not going to be fun while you're doing that 10-mile walk out, right?
Yeah.
But I think that part of the process is to remind yourself, okay, I can't let myself like go and let shit like that happen again, because look how miserable this is. And so, like, no shortcuts, right? At the end of the day, I think you'll agree with me.
There are no shortcuts, and if you want anything great, you have to put in the work. And I know a lot of people get triggered by that term, right? Put in the work. But it's so true. You want anything great, you want a great relationship, you got to put work in the relationship. You can't just show up and your physical body is present, but you're not actually doing anything to have a successful relationship.
Right.
Same thing with your health. And like I said, every single aspect of your life is all one and the same. So use every law of every part of your life in the same way. And when it comes to instant gratification, the people that want instant gratification are the people that are kind of clueless. They're honestly clueless of what they want. They just know that they don't want to feel the way that they feel now. So that feeling that they feel right now should be their driver to move forward and not feel like this way again. Because if you want to continuously stay the same, do the same things that got you where you are. If you want to make a difference, change the way that you think, change the way that you think about your goals, change the way that you are living your life and the people that you're staying around. And what that will do is it will naturally make you enjoy your process a lot more. Because at the end of the day, what do we really want, right? Many of us will achieve goals and will still feel like we want more. Many of us will go into relationships, finally get that person that we've always wanted, and then things start getting comfortable. We'll get into that shape that we want, and then we'll get comfortable. So we are human beings that always want more, but really what we really want is to be the best version of ourselves each and every day. So working on becoming 1% better every day is going to make you have a healthy and enriched life.
Yeah. And I think that it's important also for people to understand that the work that you're avoiding doing, right, because you perceive it to be too challenging, that right there is the exact thing that is going to get you out of the situation that you're currently in. So it's that quote unquote pain that you're avoiding. That's literally what you need to be leaning into to succeed and to get what you really want. So there's two ways to lose weight effortlessly and instantly. You could get liposuction. It'll cost you about 40 grand. And you could chop off one of your legs. That's also an amputation, right? You'll lose at least 50 to 80 pounds like overnight, right?
Yeah.
And I don't recommend doing either one of those things, right? And I say that, jokingly, because like I know people that have done liposuction, and what happens? They've never addressed the reason of why they got to that place in the first place. They've never actually done the work. They've never taken the time to learn about how to fix these things. And so what happens? A year later, they gained all the weight back. So they just wasted 40 grand, right?
Yep.
And like, obviously you're not going to go chop off one of your limbs, but like, I'm just saying, like, that's really the only way to instantly lose weight. This is one of those things that unfortunately you cannot avoid the work. You have to. Part of actually the who you become by doing work, I think, is more important than anything else, because it's like you're becoming a new person, right?
Of course, it's all about the becoming, man. And that's what is the most important part, is the becoming part. Like if you're doing something and you're not actually becoming the thing that you're doing, you're not doing it right. And you're not actually invested and committed to it. You're wasting your time essentially. So anyone who wants to get into shape, because we're probably going to wrap this up, anyone who wants to get into shape and actually stay consistent with their goals, you have to start being the healthy and in shape person. Okay. You can't just wish for it. You can't just hope for it. You can't just wait for somebody to do it for you. Go from living an unhealthy lifestyle to being a healthy and fit individual and doing what healthy and fit individuals do. And that's what's going to help you, guide you in the right direction.
100%. So I think, that's a perfect spot to leave off. So
yes. All right. So everybody stay fit, stay healthy. And if you guys want information or any advice or anything like that, reach out to us and we will be more than happy to assist you guys. Peace out.